City Council workshop meeting for January 8th. It is 6:02 and I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. It's great to see as many people here tonight as possible. With that, I'll ask you to make sure your phones are turned off or on vibrate so that everybody can hear the business being conducted at hand. And we have a quorum to the workshop with both, all three of the boards actually. And with that, would you like to please say the invocation? Please stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. No, invocation first.
Our God, infuse us with compassion that can be put to an end to hate, with a generosity that can eradicate greed, and with wisdom and courage to put our focus and sorrows in their rightful place. Whatever our conversations are that we are most afraid to have, it is probably the one that we might need to have. And I also ask that everyone remember Tom Chulowitz in your prayers as he is our... Okay. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Before we get started, again, I said I appreciate, and I know that there are temperatures that are high. So let's make sure that I can tell you there's more people up here that probably see the things that you do, the way you do. Let's make sure we stay respectful and nice and understanding. With that, we'll start the public forum. Just as a reminder, I'm going to be calling you up as I received these. You have 3 minutes to speak. There will be a timer, and we want you to state your name and your address just for the record. And just as a reminder, none of us can speak. We are here to listen to the public and consume what you have to say, but this is not a time for discussion. So with that, and I'll pull up the first person to speak, and then I'll say who's on deck so they can get up and go to the back of the room so they're ready. All right. First one I have is Megan Tuttle. Please come to the podium. And I have Lisa Gregory on deck.
Hi there, good evening. I'm here to ask you carefully consider, I forgot my name and address, sorry. Megan Tuttle, 203 Brock Lane. I'm here to ask that you carefully consider the future of the downtown community center before moving forward with the demolition. While the building may not meet the legal criteria for historic designation in Texas, it has served as a meaningful gathering place for decades and holds deep sentimental value for many of the community members. There are not many communities with rich history that Montgomery possesses, and even fewer that still have buildings which have stood alongside that history for so long. The community center is one of those rare places, and for generations it has been a setting for events, milestones, and shared experiences that form the heart of our town. I encourage the council to explore all possible alternatives such as renovation, adaptive reuse, or partial preservation before making a final decision. Preserving places like this is about more than structures. It is about prioritizing the history, character, and sense of the belonging that makes Montgomery unique. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Tuttle. Next up, Lisa Gregory with Shelley Lane on deck.
Hi, I'm Lisa Gregory, 910 Clupper. Just recently completed construction. I can say that one of the reasons that the decision was made to purchase property in downtown Montgomery in the city limits was because of the character, the historical significance, and honestly, how can you separate Montgomery from the historical significance? That's what brings people to the city. It creates the charm. It's the draw. I also have an office in downtown Montgomery that overlooks the community center. And again, just going, you all go by it during Christmas. You know, it's certainly the building's important, the historical significance. Yes, it's not 100 years yet, but it's getting awfully close, and it deserves to be saved. as a real estate broker, I know that remediation is a possibility. Tearing something down and demolition is not the way to go with this property. If you need and again, I just learned of this today. So I'm not sure what the specific plans are, but if you need a parking lot, if you need something else, there are other properties within the city that the city already owns that can be utilized for that. So I urge you to definitely do whatever possible to avoid demolishing this building and this structure, because it is central to Montgomery. It's central to the heritage of Montgomery. It's one of the things that creates the charm of the downtown area. And I think to turn it into something, whether it's commercial parking lot, and I don't know what the plans are. There's so many other options and opportunities for that. So anyway, that's fine.
Thank you. Next up, Miss Shelley Lane with Howard Andrews on deck.
I said Shelley Lane from Goddard. I just want to quickly speak. This is a key piece of our history. Yes, we all have family deep ties, roots. It pulls on the heartstrings. But 1938, the Civic Club dedicated the land and the little brick wall as a park to the city. 1948, one of the first things Commissioner T.J. Peel, who his family have deep, deep roots in the town of Montgomery. The key thing he worked to do first when he got in office was build community centers for Montgomery, Magnolia, and Willis to honor the men killed in World War II from each of those communities. Whenever you walk in that community center, that big plaque on that wall, those are not just names from Montgomery County. They're from the town of Montgomery. Those are boys, men that have deep family roots in the town of Montgomery. A lot of those names still have families in this community. They've used it for civic meetings, Lions Club bingo. When those families walk in, they can remember their loved ones. And this is loved ones. These are men who went out to fight for our country. They got shot down in the water. They were killed in combat. Some were in prisoner of war camps. Some never got to come back home to be buried. Other families, it took 2 and 3 or more years for them to get their bodies back home. And so that plaque on that wall is a key honor and respect and memory for those brave men who sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice. And then, of course, we all know the land is very historical. That was the spot, the downtown center spot for the town. There's historical markers for that. And it was where one of our courthouses was before it got moved to Conrad. So both the land, the building has deep roots, deep ties to Montgomery County. So I just urge City Council, before you look at just quickly demolishing that as another building, if that is the case, I would strongly urge you to look at trying to save the building, renovate it, at least save the front of it, so when you look at the front of that building, you still have that historicness there, you still have that fireplace in there, that plaque honoring those men, and so when people look at it, you still have that thing, and you could easily expand out the sides or the back, but keep the integrity and the look and the history of that building. Lastly, this is information on those men. This gives you their names, what they were in the military, some of their history, how they were killed. It's all the men on that plaque. There is also the articles on in 1938 when that wall was built, articles on when the building was dedicated. Also, the last part of this packet I'm going to leave with the council is screenshots of comments from social media from the community urging and upset over the possibility of this building being torn down. And I do appreciate y'all letting me speak tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next up is Mr. Howard Andrews with Brenda Bevan on deck.
My name is Howard Andrews, 910 Klepper. I basically just learned about this today, and so if I'm up here speaking, it's because I'm passionate about it, even though I don't know how it arrived here or where it's going. But I can tell you this, I've had the ability to travel all over the world, and every small town that you go to that has a heart and a community sense has a historical and commonplace, which everybody emanates out from. And to me, the city of Montgomery, it's that community center. I think if you rip that out, you really rip out that point in which this city emanates from. I walk my dog at least twice a day. And I can tell you that every single day, I walk around that, and I walk through it, and I see the people that go over there and stop and look at the goat at the well and so forth, and read the plaques, the jail cells that are out there, and so forth. And there's a time capsule in there that I think would be a travesty for this town to decide to get rid of. I think there are many options, as other people have said, to renovate, to remediate if there's an issue with the building. You somehow, in my opinion, need to keep the integrity of not only that building, but also the centrality of it in this town and what it means to a small community like this. That's what drew us to Montgomery, and it's what will keep us in Montgomery. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next up, Miss Brenda Bevan.
I'm Brenda Bevan.
With Diane Lane on deck, sorry.
Okay?
Yeah, you should go.
Okay. Brenda Bevan, I live at 5011 Rimlock Pass, Montgomery, and I'm here representing 2 points. I'm here to represent the Montgomery Historical Society, who is firmly against the building being taken down. Okay, I think enough said on that. I also represent 7th grade teachers, okay? Amanda Clark, Amanda Cook, and my daughter, Allison Fayola, also asked me to speak on their behalf, okay? For the last 26 years, we have done a scavenger hunt throughout the town of Montgomery. Thousands of kids have gone through and learned the history of this town. And to forsake this building would be, as someone already said, a travesty, because it is important that these kids learn this. When I first started the scavenger hunt 26 years ago, I said I had 3 prongs, and one of them was to learn the history of the town, to bring all these families in to come and shop here, okay? We have 800 7th graders now, and all of those 7th graders come through the town of Montgomery. And they learn about the history, and they learn about the economy of the town, and they bring money to this little downtown area. So to take some of this away, I think you're going to see there'll be a whole lot of parents that would be upset about this. In addition, we do a cookie walk, all right? That's been going on since, I believe, the 1980s, okay? And every single Christmas on the 2nd Saturday of the month of December, students from the 2 junior highs now, because the school district has gotten so big, we keep it to the junior highs. They bake cookies. Their families bake cookies, and they go and they bring those cookies, and the National Charity League picks them up, and they fix up the area, and then the cookies are sold, and it's the only fundraiser that the Montgomery Historical Society has. And so for those reasons, there's a history here that cannot and should not be eradicated because we want to put up a venue. Historical Society has no problem with adding on to it, to fixing. Obviously, it needs to be fixed based on what we've seen, but we have no problem with that. We do have a problem with you tearing down the building. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Ms. Diane Lane with Ms. Tracy Bulwer next.
Yes, I'm Diane Lane, 27892 Den Road, Montgomery. I have lived here all of my life, came when I was 10 years old from Louisiana. And when I came to this little town, I was shocked at how small it was and the charm and the friendships that were made. And then we had to move because my parents were in the oil field, and it killed me. But we got to come back, and I have been running around these grounds in these cemeteries at that community center all my life. And when you walk onto those grounds, it is a special, special place. I was there, he was there, when they had a trail ride dance many moons ago, and Happy Self played in that building. I don't know how we all fit in there, but we did. Everything everybody said so far, I totally agree with. That is the heart of our town, right there. I cannot imagine driving past that area. And I took my little grandson, you may have seen me in the last week or two. We've gone out there so he could see the time capsule and the building. And you know what he said? He's 10, but he's really smart. And he said, well, if that building's falling down like they say it is, he said, those maintenance men sure walked across the top of that building and put those lights up there, and nobody fell through the ceiling. And I laughed, but you know, that's a 10-year-old speaking. I know the building has got to have some repairs. There's no doubt about it, because we know how old it is. Our prayer is that we can keep the little heart and soul of our city right there, and we can do some improvements to the building and save our community center. I wish we had a courthouse like a lot of these wonderful little towns do, but we got to appreciate what Anderson did to their courthouse and what Navasota's done. These old buildings like this, they deserve to have some TLC put on them, and this building, like I said, is the heart and soul of our town, and there's money to be made, and I think so many people are going to be crushed if it has to come down.
Ms. Tracy Bulware.
Hello everyone, I'm Tracy Bulware. Family's been here for several generations, and we're on 149 South. We have some, I love this controversy because it has generated so much interest and passion, and it helps you get reinvigorated with the downtown. So also, it's gotten a lot of inspection work done to the buildings, and I think that's good. I think that all of this is really good. And so it's inspired us to be creative on what can be done with the building, and it's called adaptive reuse concept. And we've thrown out some ideas, and we're going to throw out some more ideas. I restore houses in the Heights in Houston, and we take houses that are 100 plus years old and in way worse shape and turn them into $1 million homes. And so I know that this can be done. And we got some things that I think will be exciting for everyone to see. And I think that everyone with the city would be happy with some of the things that we come up with. And I wanted to kind of just go over a little bit of what we were thinking about. We were talking about turning it into a vibrant, open-air gathering space that honors its stone construction, embraces the local climate, and supports year-round community use without mechanical heating or air conditioning. I don't know if you've ever been to New Braunfels, but there's a place called Krause Beer Gardens, and they've done the same thing. They're renovating their downtown and saving the buildings. The Worst Fest, they've done the same thing there. So it can be done, and you throw a little bit of a modern element on it, and what I mean by that is more of an industrial glass, metal, on the side stuff. Again, the architects are going to think of that. But I think the building can be preserved and have a nice little facelift, and we can enjoy it even with its structural issues that are there. If it's an open air concept, then you don't have to worry about foundation as much or roof, because that would get a new roof. But we want to preserve the historic character, reduce construction and operating costs, do as minimal maintenance and long-term risk, and resilient during power outages, and create a unique destination for events, markets, and gatherings. And one of my favorite things to do in New Braunfels is to go to Krause's Beer Garden, where they have the farmers market every Saturday morning, and it is a wonderful event to behold. So anyway, I think that everyone being here is great, and I think there's some design possibilities that everyone would be happy with, and honor the history and the heritage.
Next item on your agenda is the workshop agenda. All workshop items on this agenda are for discussion only. No action will be taken. Number 4 on your agenda, discussion on the community center. So I don't know who wants to launch into this. I've got lots to say, or did you want to go ahead, Brent?
If you want to go first, go ahead.
So,
Okay.
you go ahead.
How long has these conditions been known, and how long have we kicked the can down the road?
Well, that's a great question, because one of my questions is, I mean, what's the preventative maintenance look like, Mike? I don't know if you're listening to me, but what's it look like, and where, I mean, where has the maintenance been? I know, like, Miss Fox rented it and had to clean it before she used it, and I went back and looked at a year and a half worth of departmental reports, and it says it's cleaned weekly, but arguably, I don't know if it's been looked at because of I mean, why didn't Public Works report the mold or the problems with the ceiling if we're checking at our properties?
What I'm asking is, if we've known about this, about the condition of the building, and we've had all these studies done to, you know, with the streets, with the sewer, with the lighting, with the new signage, why was not that put on those agendas so money could be granted or set aside for some of the repairs?
So I asked
think I can answer.
Mr. Walker that tonight when we got here.
Part of that, earlier this summer, we got a report from a young lady that was renting the place, and she had made a statement of the condition of the building, and then shortly after, Mr. Chulowitz had brought up the smell in there, which we knew about the sewer problems. That was what initiated us to start looking into what all the problems were. At first we thought, you know, well, this is just a small problem. We can, you know, clean up the mold, clean up anything like that. But it got a little deeper and a little deeper and a little more issues. We see there's some movement in the walls. There's some roof structure issues up there. So that's when we brought it to the MEDC, and we talked about the McGowan project, you know, and how could we add that in. We were saving some money on the road itself, so we were looking at that money. When we got there, that's kind of how we got here. MEDC was looking at, you know, what could we save, what could we use, you know, what's the best use of the money that's available, and where does that take us, you know, kind of like the beneficial reuse, save all the rocks, or is it, you know, put a whole new roof on it. The two end caps themselves are actually the more structurally problematic. It's old terracotta with plaster on top of it, which is not the best construction in the world. So we found all of this came a little bit, and the further we dug, the more problems we came up with. So that's when we started going, okay, we're gonna have to come up with a really big idea how to either spend all the money to fix it or to, you know, find an alternate plan. Does that kind of answer what your question was?
Well, yeah, kind of, sort of, because I've been around here for a long time.
Well, some of these problems
I know, through the years, you could see it going.
Yeah, it has slowly deteriorated.
Everybody here has got eyes and know it's going. So my question is, how long have we known about these problems?
Let me add to that. I go back to celebrating my 70th birthday in there 14 years ago. It looked then just like it does today. Nothing has changed. As mayor, I went and looked at the building. I did all I could. I painted the outside, I painted the inside. I coated the roof with elastometric cement to stop some of the pictures you see of the stain in the tile was caused by roof leaks. And, you know, like I said, we did all we could. That odor in that bathroom was there in 2014. That odor hasn't went away. And we sent, as we could afford, at the time we had 2 laborers, and we sent them over there. They dug up all the plumbing and tried to tell us, you know, that they had it fixed. Obviously, they didn't have it fixed. At the time, the wall along the south side of the building was would be the southeast corner of the building was sinking at a pretty good rate. It had settled to the point, 4-foot windows. If you close the window, it was completely shut on one side and it's standing open 3 or 4 inches on the other side. Tell you how level it was. I could not fix that. We didn't have the money to fix it. Rather than to come up with a cosmetic repair, AC was running all the time, we put sunscreen on it and actually had sunscreen made out of square that would hide the fact that how out of square the windows were. So it's been this way for a long, long time. It's looked just like it does now. I want to add that the foundation, the ownership, I heard somebody talk about the ownership here. I don't know how the ownership floated back and forth, but the county commissioner actually contacted our city administrator, Bill Cotlin, I want to say it was in 2012, and said, we're gonna give you a present. We're gonna send you the deed to the community building. We never knew we didn't have a deed, quite frankly. So we found out we did have ownership. The restroom that's behind the, sits in the back now, that was the Lions Club had built that building for storage. We didn't have enough bathroom. Everybody complained about bathrooms in the downtown area. I went to the Lions Club, talked to them, they're very nice. They said, deal with it as you may. That was a storage building. I got it converted to a bathroom. At the same time, I got some builders in the area to donate the bathrooms that's in both parks, Homecoming Park and Park Cross Street. So there's been a lot of going on here, but it's always been done when there's available funds, and there haven't been enough available funds. As we've grown, Kroger's came along. Some of y'all may remember I was very adamant about Kroger's. I wound up walking off because I couldn't get the rest of the council members to agree to that, and which they eventually did. But because we had no money, we didn't have a Kroger's, things didn't get done. So we're in a different phase now. The money's managed right and things are laid out, planned and done, it would be much better.
Well, just to add to that, the toothpaste is out of the tube and you can't put it back in. So I think at this point, we find an objective plan that we all can agree on and move forward, because I think that I run a facility, janitorial maintenance company, and you should have a plan in place quarterly for checks. And you take those issues to whoever writes the check and say, this is priority, and they have to prioritize that and not kick the can down the road and say, we need to get this done. Because one crack will lead to a leak and it just gets to be a problem. So it's not, at this point, it's not a blame game. We as a community, we got to come together and find objections to getting it done. Because we can look back years and see things that wasn't done. But we can do all things through Christ, and what gives us the strength. We got to put our minds and our talents together to make sure that happens. And the community, we love your appeal. Everybody have made valid points. And you're absolutely right. But I think from the city standpoint, the buck stopped with us in order to get it done. So football is 4 quarters. Go Texas. Football is 4 quarters. So right now, we 2 minutes, we gotta have a Tom Brady moment. We got 2 minutes left. So we can't go out of bounds. We gotta keep the clock running to get this thing done.
We gotta get out of our own way.
That's right, yeah.
So let me
We can't keep doing this like the studies that last 4 or 5 years. We have to get a committee or whatever together and get it done.
Yeah.
Well, and that's driven from staff. I mean, it is, it's driven from staff. That's when we can say, we can approve everything, but if it's not happening within this building on a day-to-day basis, as we have seen, it doesn't happen. And we've got to get serious about it and make it happen. And I want to say, I mean, nobody on council, I don't think anybody sitting here ever said anything about demolishing the building. So I said that when we had our tour there. I'm going to say it again. Not demolishing the building. However, I believe every single one of us, every single one of you here, you're here because you do believe it is valuable and brings a sense of community. And it is a heartbeat of our town, without a doubt. Is it broken inside? Yes. But I do think that remediation, and Tracy Wooler has got some beautiful renderings that she brought when we had our meeting there and even tonight. And I think too, if it is a community, we did it when we did the whole comprehensive plan. We should have community involvement and listen. And if you've got your chat GPT that shows you what to do, submit. Now, don't get mad if it doesn't happen your way, but at the same time, look, this is all our building. It's not City Hall's building, it's all of our building. So everybody should get a say. And I do think, again, thank you for being here, and we'd love to see what your ideas are. But the building does have some issues. Do I think it should be closed down? Absolutely not. And I'm hoping by the end of this meeting, it gets opened right back up. However, I think we're all on the same page if I'm reading everyone correctly in the room. So what does that look like? I think it's community engagement. I think it's ideas. And I think, I thought up until recently that, I was on the tour first part of December about McGowan. I didn't know that we had money to do this, and now that's being part of it. And I just think that there's been lack of communication, and then, you know, the rumor mill goes wild and crazy, and it's fun to say salacious things that are not so. And so I think we hear now, this is our heartbeat, and we want to keep it. Yes, we need to address some things, but we want to keep it here. So then what does that look like going forward? And I think that we have town hall meetings, 1, 2, whatever it is, until we get an idea shaved down that we can, 1, afford, 2, continues to look like Montgomery, acts like Montgomery, and that we're all proud of.
Which I think the EDC has indicated to Brent that we're willing to pay for studies to look at different options, not just one idea. And part of that is looking at a baseline of what does it cost to demo it. I think that's how the rumor started, is we do want to know what that cost is compared to renovating it. Is that to renovate it, is it 3 times as much, 4 times as much? We need to have that baseline to understand it, not because we want to go that path, but we want to have that information in front of us. But I think that's where the EDC wants to go, is let's kind of pause and look at the options, get some renderings together of what different things you can do, open house concept, or just, you know, keep the building as it is and expand on it, all these different ideas, and then have town hall meetings so that we can have numbers and visuals for everyone to actually tangibly talk about and discuss. Yes, we don't like that. Yes, that's a good idea. And is it worth the community's dollars, taxpayer dollars, to do X, Y, and Z? And I think that's where the EDC is wanting to go as a next step. So.
Yeah, and I will say that the problem that I ran into, you know, because I was running with this as fast as I could. I mean, it took me a bit to get here. But when I brought out contractors to look at it, after we kind of looked at it and said, okay, let's look at this, is with the structural problems, they could never give you a real price yet because they were too afraid of, you know, what's going to happen in there. You know, so it's not that it's going to fall down. Nobody ever said that. It's just that there is some structural issues. You can see the cracking, you can see the movement. You know, so what is that going to cost to re-support those walls or you know, whatever the design is. That's why I think that you know, that last MEDC meeting, we looked at beneficial reuse, or, you know, if, like, I'm not sure who mentioned it, the front of the building, you know, so it looks the same from the road, maybe adding out to the side. I mean, maybe that's the answer, you know, but that's what I need to know, because that'll get us the data that we need, and that'll give you money and things that you can really look at.
So Brent, when we were all together at the community center, we had, what, 5 engineers there and architects. Each one of them felt that they could accomplish what we wanted to do, which was save that building. And so I think right now we're just in that phase where we're waiting to see what either WGA comes out with, or with one of the other architects. There's plenty of enthusiasm for holding on to it. So it's just a matter, MEDC came up with this bucket of money because we pushed the McCown project. Exactly. And so this all came to light because we want to develop area and create a real town center that has.
Tie it all together.
That has a farmer's market. I spoke with him today. That has multiple events going on throughout not just on the weekends, but throughout the week, so that people can enjoy that center for years to come. So our goal at the EDC was never, and I want to be clear about that, to demolish that building. I never, ever, ever said that. So we want to save the building, and we want to renovate the building, and we want to make it a community masterpiece where people come to Montgomery, and when they see it, they go, wow, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to shop. So we're all on the same page as far as the people with the money that are going to spend it to get it done. We're in the phase now of just figuring out how to go about doing that responsibly, okay? That's really all it is. And so you guys, I'm so grateful to have you here. I mean, this is really, really awesome. We love seeing the community come together for this. And now that we know that we got some passionate, folks that are gonna save this building, let's do it together. Let's come up with a plan that everybody agrees will be a remarkable showpiece for our community.
And I want to add on to what you're saying. The EDC is always, I think our main goal as the EDC is to keep the downtown area alive and make sure we have people staying in downtown. We've got these, we love the box stores. They have a lot of tax revenue for us, but we want to make sure people stay in downtown and don't go outside of the city. And so we're trying to see what can we do with the community building, with McCown Street. How do we reinvest in downtown and keep the downtown alive? And so that's our main goal. It's not to destroy history. I live in a historic house in downtown. I love history. I know the importance of it, and it keeps our community stable. We just want to know what's the best way, what's the best use of our dollars, and best way to preserve our city and downtown. So that's our heart, and that's kind of the spirit that we're coming at this from. So.
Well, and the community center wasn't even on our radar until just recently. I mean, we've been doing McCowan. I mean, had the budget, a lot of things have changed. I mean, subsurface, what we were going to do on top, back and forth. All of a sudden, it was presented to us and said, hey, we can do the community center. Gosh, we can tie this thing together. So then we start getting, and I haven't seen these reports.
It's the first time we've seen them.
Man, this thing's going to implode, So what do you do with it? So save all the rock and maybe repurpose it like that. And that was the intent.
On the agenda, December the 9th, they gave it was one of the line items that said, NEDC request that City Council demo the building. That was on it. I read it, and the time I read it, I was totally shocked. But my big thing about that building is we need to make sure that the purpose of that building originally was to honor the men who died here. And I think that is, to me, very important. And that building may be not what they call historic, but it has a lot of history to me because I've been here over 50 years. 70th birthday, grandchildren, scouts, brownies. That building I had put my kids on that stone wall and watched the riders go through, So, but the main thing about that building is to memorialize those men who lost their lives.
I think the only thing the EDC agreed to was to do a study to move it or other options. We didn't agree to demo anything. That was
I mean, there was no idea of us to do it.
Jeff wasn't there, but I was there. That's not what I agreed to.
You look.
It was on the agenda.
It was, but it wasn't to demo, it was to do a study.
Yeah, the way it was presented, Cheryl, and I think you know this, I've talked to you about it several times, we never would have agreed to that.
I'm just telling you, that's what was
Okay, so let's just don't even put it out there, because that isn't true. Secondly,
yes, it is.
I wasn't at the meeting, it was.
I know, you gotta go.
Okay, so what I'm telling you is, Ryan's giving it straight. The heart of EDC is to renovate, not to demolish. Period, the end.
I don't care what you're saying, Jeff. December 9th, we had a meeting here at City Council. It was the first time I ever heard that we were even messing with the city community building. And we were told right here on City Council that it was cheaper to take the building down and build a new one than it would be to fix it. That's what we were told right here at City Council.
I can tell you right now, I'm sorry that you were told that, Stan, because we never said that, okay?
I'm just saying, it was said. It was said.
It's in black and
Because
white,
these
so.
people are here because they heard somebody say that this building is gonna be demolished. That's why they're here. And they're also here because we're missing the other point. Why, I don't see any evidence of why we shut the community center down. I don't see any evidence. I wanna know why we shut the thing down and, you know, why the people can't act.
Hey, Stan, I'm in
I don't
favor.
like getting 6-month-old information right here when I walk in this building.
I agree. Me and you are on the same page.
To tell you people
all on
out
the
there,
same page.
and to
Let's
say
just-
what Arnett says, the buck doesn't stop here, it stops right here in this line right here. And we will take responsibility. We will take care of the internal matters that need to be taken care of because people are not cooperating with us. But that's not your problem, that's our problem. I'm gonna promise you though, that this city council is not gonna have that building just all of a sudden taken off the face of the earth. You know, if anything, it's gonna be built back just like it was. And we're not gonna change anything as long as I'm on this council. It's gonna go back exactly the way it was. We're gonna fix it where it's usable and people enjoy it and can, you know, but, you know, the council itself has other issues that we have to take care of internally, and that's our problem. But I'm telling you, man, I know why you're here, and I don't blame you, man. We've made a lot of people mad by closing that thing down. And that's the point that I don't have any information. I just got this thing, just got it. This guy was here yesterday, I think, if it's from the guy I met, because I happened to go over the building and just happened to find out that people were there to inspect it. I just happened to find it out. Nobody told me they were doing that. Nobody told me that we had a mold inspection back on August the 28th of 2025. Nobody told us that. Nobody in this council knew about this. You know, so you understand that we have an internal problem, but we will take care of it. But that, you know, and I'm not trying to shift the blame. We're gonna have to do whatever it takes. If I have to start going to MEDC meetings and planning and zoning meetings to find out what's going on, I'll do it. I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna pinhole the people we hire. I expect them to do a job, but when they do it, and if it's serious about this city, they need to contact us because we're the ones that have to contact you, not these people down here, us. We're the ones that were voted in, and we are gonna answer to the people. We're gonna do what's right in your sight and in God's sight, and we're gonna preserve the historical significance of Montgomery City.
I would have to say, we've already had this meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, Sarah said we're not gonna argue and go into heated discussions, and right now the temperature is high. So I suggest that we bring the temperature down.
It is.
Okay, but we need to find out what the immediate thing that we can do right now to reopen the community center. What is the most immediate thing we can do to reopen that community center so that the people that live here can use it, see it, work on it, build, whatever? What is the immediate thing? I don't want to leave here tonight without having at least 3 points. What are we going to do in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Because we just had a meeting on Tuesday. The planning and zoning did, and what did we do? We pushed something back. We pushed something back. We got to wait on this study. We got to wait on this report. We got to wait on this and that. It's here. It's here. It's been 23 years, and I had a child that was at that community center that had a fundraiser. 23 years, and just like John said, 14 years ago, you walk in, it's been the same thing. Bill brought it up right away. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Cheryl's been here all her life. Why are we waiting? So let's do something. Can we do something, Sarah?
I agree.
Let's do something. And do something. Like, let's just do 3 things.
I think the main problem is that there seems to be, as you said a while ago, you know, there's no urgency
Yeah.
in anything that happens in this city.
Yeah.
Somebody said something to me, look, I said, that odor has been in that bathroom for 15 or 16 years. I don't know. Why not have somebody in my world needs to have somebody in that spot tomorrow fixing that.
I agree.
And no excuse. We have been talking about McGowan Street till I'm sick of it. We've been talking for 20 years about McGowan. We don't get nothing done. We just talk it all to death.
Studies.
Let's quit studying.
Study that.
We got enough report to do something. We have enough report to do something.
So what is it going to take? I said this to you yesterday when we had our discussion. You autonomously didn't tell any of us that it was getting shut down. When I called you and said, what is it going to take to get it back open? You said council's approval. Well, if you can autonomously close it, why can't you autonomously open it back up?
I will let the attorney address that, but let me tell you what the options are and how we got here. This is, again, a process. So we got the report. We went out and got the remediation cost.
From one company, we need 3.
It's just a cost so we could get some cost. We talked to 2 contractors to look at what it would take to bring it back to usable. Because you know when they do the remediation, it leaves it in terrible condition. They chop a lot of stuff out. So then when we talked to them, they said, well, there's problems up here. There's problems with the walls. We can't really give you anything. So we were kind of stuck there. That's why we went to the EDC and said, well, here's what I'm running into. You know, how can we move forward with this? So if you want to use the building like it is, you know, Alan can speak to that. But if you want to remediate it and move forward with whatever that project is, then that is the second option.
That's going to take a timeline. So let's open
I know it takes time.
I mean, I've said that, and I said this to you yesterday. Nobody's grown a third eye or lost an appendage. And if they need to sign a waiver that says if I get sick, the city's not liable, but open the dadgum thing up.
May I make a suggestion? I don't know if it needs remediation for it the way it is at the moment. The mildew does need to be addressed, but I think the next step would be to take, approve of some architectural renderings. And then that way you have a vision for it.
Right, so, but my point is, let's open it up, let's people enjoy it, it's not gonna fall on anybody's head. Then, while we're doing these studies, and moving this along, because now we've got a lot of eyes on it, and which is great. But in the meantime, let's continue to use the building, because this was all a gut punch to us, and I got the email, and I'm like, wait, what? And then, you know, all the hate mail, and I'm like, I don't have any answers. I can't respond because I don't know. So, and when I went through this, like I said to you, I Googled the mold that's in there. Every one of us have this mold in our yards. There's nothing in here that's gonna.
So also on the bathroom smelling, check and see if there's a vent pipe. And a lot of buildings back in those days, they didn't put vent pipes on the toilets. And so.
They dug it completely out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we dug it completely out.
Oh, no, I mean a vent pipe through to the attic. Okay. Yeah, and so that might have been it, but I mean. And
there's also things like, you know, the building never had 3-strand wiring. In other words, it didn't have ground. So you wouldn't end up with any kind of electronic equipment, you couldn't plug it in, it wouldn't work. So we had to go in and ground certain outlets with what funds we had so you could use electronics.
Yeah. Well, now the money's here, and that's a wonderful thing.
Listen, I mean, with your experience, my experience, you know, my wife and I have been in the property management business for over 30 years ourselves too, and managed properties that are dirty and nasty and need to be cleaned up. You know, this whole thing can be renovated and cleaned out and get rid of the mold, wipe it down, get rid of it, open it up, and fix the bathroom and cabinet as soon as you can. But those are too many. It ought to be open. There's no reason not for it not, in my opinion, there's no reason for it not to be open.
Can we ask for it to be reopened, whoever that power may be? Check out the bathroom exhaust to get rid of the smell, check on the grounding wire, and check on the maintenance to get it cleaned up for the mold that we had quote unquote somehow found. There's 3 things right there that we can do.
Can't be that much, so.
Until we get a plan together.
I mean, let's leave doing something. Like, okay, it's got mold. Let's figure out how to do that in an economical, healthy way.
I mean, because this whole remediation thing may take 3 years. I mean, we shouldn't have it shut down for 3 years.
No.
And Alan, can we not have them sign a waiver that they won't sue the city if they get a runny nose?
You could. The mold report, I looked at it too. It's not a huge number over the background. I mean, so I would think that, you know, for the short term, pretty good deep cleaning.
And it says that the air quality is acceptable.
Right here, it says the air quality inside the building is acceptable.
Who's our maintenance crew that's supposedly going over there cleaning it?
Mike McRoy's.
It's Public Works.
Public Works, yeah.
You're sending people who are not qualified to do it then. You need to get people who know how to clean, have the proper equipment to clean.
I thought we had someone right behind me since they own.
No, that's not there.
I'm sorry, what?
Some utility guys can clean the mains.
Let's ask him.
Right here.
Right here, let's ask him.
So are you saying that spend that money on a third party to clean it?
Let's go home.
I would think, I mean, EDC's got,
I don't know if it's EDC money, I don't know if it's general fund, I don't know.
I don't know whose money it is, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Let's get it cleaned up and opened up.
I can get you 3 different companies to come in and give you 3 quotes. There's a few of them that we use, because
It can't be that all encompassing.
the houses that I restore, I mean, you wouldn't park your cow in them if you, but in the shape
And
they're
Ms. Bower, if you'll do that for us.
Of course, sure.
EDC's got another meeting coming up, when, next Tuesday? Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, city council's Tuesday.
In
2 weeks.
Public Works, they don't have the equipment, they don't really have the knowledge that I.
Yeah, Public Works can't.
So I don't think anybody should ever blame Public Works for having a nasty building, I really don't, because they don't have the equipment, nor do they have the chemicals and stuff to do it. I think a professional needs to do it.
Yeah, that focuses, that's all they do, and so.
I can't speak for my entire board, but I can pretty much assure you EDC would be more than happy to fund that if we can.
And they're economical, some for residential.
That's not a big.
If you'd like to speak, go up to the podium, because I know Sylvan and Kevin, yes, thank you, just for the.
You want me to, or?
Or yeah, if you want to, if you're not finished.
I saw this general.
I'm Kevin Barnes, I own 401 Colorado across the street from it. And this may sound like heresy, but you know what's wrong with that building? It doesn't look good from the street.
No.
It's got a roof on it that looks like it was put on the 1950s when metal siding was being put everywhere. So since it already leaks, let's take it off, put a high gabled roof on it with corbels on it of the period, make it look like it's a historic building.
That's a good idea.
That would help it so much, because the sides of it look great.
Well, EDC is definitely taking in design concepts right now. We have 2 engineering firms that are working on how to make that happen. We just picked this project up a few months ago, and because we moved money from the McCowan Street project over to the community center so they could line up with the new downtown city hall and police station. So totally agree. We just want to renovate it and update it, but we have other things that we want to do in that area.
That's great. That's great. I'm offering to be on whatever committee you guys look at.
Absolutely.
I have good ideas, I think.
Yeah.
I've been in, and anyone else is interested, join us.
Yeah, we would love it, yeah, and we're going to have a discussion. I think we'll get it on our agenda for our EDC meeting coming up in 2 weeks from now, and so that would be a great time to come in and present some good ideas. Okay, yeah.
There's something.
Hi, I'm Celinda Simpson, and my question is, we know about the building, and I've heard this hearsay about permits being pulled for the grounds, like for the Lone Star for Saturday. Is that to be reopened?
That's what I'm hoping. They don't even use the building. They use the public bathrooms, so.
Yeah, I told them last week they could use that or the other lot the EDC owns, I don't know what you call that lot, it doesn't have a
Wait, you
name.
told First Saturday they could use it on Saturday and they chose not to use it on Saturday?
That was a permit problem.
What do you mean a permit problem?
They didn't renew their permit, and so the permit expired, and yeah, that wasn't, nobody told them they couldn't use that.
Special use permit for 6 months?
I actually run Lone Star first Saturday. I was told, what, 3 days before the holiday, that my permit was pulled. No one ever knew it was expired. If I'd have known it was expired, and I actually have a copy of it, it is not expired. So we were told we could not put up our market there at all. So we scrambled, we found another place to go, and everything, such a brouhaha over that. But we were just definitely told we could not be there. So I don't know the lady's name. I know the lady's name. It's not a permit at this moment, but.
Yeah, I didn't know about it till after the fact. I didn't even know why you moved it over there.
How does nobody know what's going on in the same, when we're just a couple of offices away?
Debbie, are we gonna have the first Saturday in February?
Yes, we are.
Are you coming back? Yeah, please.
Yes, we are. And I'm working on permitting and whatever I need to do to get that in line. Because that's a detriment to the people that set up those tents there, their vendors, and that's a detriment to downtown.
Absolutely. They had a very much lighter showing this weekend because of it. And the weather was perfect and all of
And we were
things.
out of sight, out of mind. And we draw people to all the small buildings in town. I mean, we're not a huge market, but, they come and buy from us, and then they go down and have coffee, lunch, whatever.
Absolutely.
So, it wasn't a matter of permits, because I pulled my permit, and I know when it was signed and when it was approved. So,
thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
thank you.
So have we decided that we're gonna do 3 things?
So we're not, I mean, this is just for open discussion. We can't take any action.
Well, can I bring up one more piece of this, just because it needs to be discussed? So, back to how things happened. When we initially saw the mold and we looked at the mold, the drop ceiling is really the main issue, if you look at it, and it's specifically 2 areas. And there's parts of the drop ceiling that are just starting to come down, which are not good. But even if we go in and remove all of those tiles, we're gonna have to repair that drop ceiling, because it's in bad shape.
Yeah, it is.
So it needs to be part of the conversation at least, because I'm not saying it's unsafe, but part of it looks like it's gonna fall and the wires are broken up there. So it's easy enough to go in and replace tiles, but we need to, consider the entire roof and making it functional. Now, that's not gonna last forever, because then we go back to the problem that the roof is leaking. So, eventually we're just gonna have to keep replacing the tiles until we get to that point of, like he said, replace the roof or whatever the case may be. Whatever that design is.
As long, I think everybody understands, once the renovation or whatever happens starts, it's gonna be shut down.
Right, but is that 3 years, 2 years? I mean, that's the problem, so leave it open.
Our thing is here tonight, let's do what we need to do to keep it open till we shut it down.
But then give us a timeline.
Yes, timeline.
Well, yeah, say in 6 months, y'all are gonna have to go find someone. Here's your runway.
You say you met with some architectural firms,
Yeah, they were all out when we reviewed the property with Sarah and Brent and Ms. Bower and everybody.
Did they all have good ideas?
Oh, yeah, they had some great ideas.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah,
Those
Let me
are
ask you
mostly
this.
engineers, but her.
Yeah,
Most of them are engineers.
She wasn't an engineer, but she's the.
I'd like to use specializes in the heights and historic restoration
Is
design.
the one that stood out?
No, we didn't interview,
Yeah.
we didn't,
Wait a minute.
well, I'm just,
There is a couple of ideas that are
Okay.
that are really.
What I'm trying to get by with is these 2 or 3 year studies, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a study.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Which could go back into the building.
WGA is here right now. They're working on actively pursuing a couple of different paths. One would be to open up one side of the building to create a stage so that we could host events with bands, live music. They're talking about maybe some permanent awning structures around to be able to put first Saturday and farmers market booths around there with electrical and things like that. We're talking about adding restrooms to the building itself and expanding it out a little bit.
What I'm talking about is not getting another consulting firm in here.
No, we're not doing that. We've got our own engineers.
Okay, that's
Why
fine.
would we get an architect to do a full study? We have WGA, but they're just an engineer. They don't do renderings and stuff like that. That's what we talked about, is maybe getting someone dedicated to, who can have a vision and idea of what a historic building looks like.
Didn't we do that?
No, we haven't done that yet. I think that's like the next step. And sometimes it takes time to have someone who has expertise to look at it and give us ideas.
But pick one.
None of us know what we're doing.
Well, that's what.
We can't just pick one.
But our next EDC meeting, we can easily bring in the public and get, they know now. I mean, bring them in, we'll put it on our agenda. Let's get some open opinions, get some ideas on what people think might.
Have a festival and have a hat.
Yeah.
One, two, or three.
Yeah, and then maybe, Ryan, we go ahead and take it to an architecture firm and get them to work on it.
I think that's what I talked to Brent about, so.
Yeah, and that's what.
I'll bring in the architect, meet with them, and he can, the process might take 3 months, and this is architectural design. The things that drag out are design approval.
Yeah.
So if you can get concepts that you like and then narrow it down to X, Y, Z, and then pick, and then the engineering firm that we use for all these historic buildings, they're used to all of this. And both of them are very economical, considering all the, anyway, their prices are good and they do excellent work. And you can.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to actually get the community involved in helping make the decision as to what final design we do. That could be a part of the.
Part of the town hall. That's part of that whole thing that
I agree. You have to start out with something for people to look at, and then narrow them down.
Yeah, but let the community get excited about it, part of the actual process.
Let's get it open.
Love seeing people.
Let's get the mold and everything cleaned up, get it open.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And go on down.
Get that.
I think we open it and then do the mold.
Yes. Yeah.
Brent, in other words, use it while we're thinking about it.
Yeah, we'll use it while we're thinking about it, right, yeah.
And Alan, does there somebody need to sign a waiver, or are we good to go just to open it immediately?
You can add some statements to your existing waiver form.
Okay, I can't hear. Sorry, say it again? Okay, go ahead.
We can add a statement to your existing waiver form that you use for rentals of the property.
Okay.
That
Perfect.
All right. So
Okay,
It's safe to say we're open for business because we could do that by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning and then start taking calls.
So Brent, do we need to, can we select an architect, or do we need to do an RFQ? I mean, I know we talk about how long things take, but that's because the state makes us do certain things. What's the next step in the EDC?
Yeah, we could potentially see if they're part of any of the co-ops, and then we could bypass some of that, RFQs and that.
Yeah.
But we need to have something to give them to bid on.
Yeah. I mean.
Or scope of work, yeah.
At least scope of work.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the studies and that, we've got the basics here now, which was the structural architect telling us, there's some issues, he identified them. We won't know those until we actually tear down the drop ceiling and really get inside of there. That's just an outside visual. But that was really, the whole holdup of making the decision on exactly how to move forward. I mean, to tell you one wall is going to fall down or something, that's, one thing versus, how are we going to support these things if you just put it back exactly like it is?
Well, we at least have we have a vision, we have a place to go forward. We're gonna open it up. EDC will work hard to try to get architects in and get them expedited to get some visions put together, let the community be a part of that process. And then at the end of the day, maybe this time next year, we're all sitting in a beautiful historic structure that we can all be proud of.
If it's purely the architectural and maybe some engineering and stuff like that's professional services. We just need to get the design that we like. We don't have to, we can go out for RFQs, that's just qualifications. But we don't have, I mean, professional services, we don't have to bid that out. When we get to the actual design of the project, then we'll have to bid that out.
Okay.
So at the next EDC meeting, are we gonna have something on the agenda to make a decision on whether we're selecting an architect or going for RFQ, or I guess that will be clarity you'll provide at that meeting so you can make a decision to plan, basically. Which shouldn't take very long, shouldn't take years, it should take a few months. We're just looking at ideas, markers, and renderings, and maybe some costs.
Yeah, look at the costs, and
yeah,
you can engage more than one, or pick who you.
Does this hold up McCown though? Because we keep getting people complain about us holding up McCown, but we're so anxious to get it done. Can we just move forward with that?
We're really close.
Yeah.
Zach can answer to that. We're pretty close on going out to bid.
Because I don't want to hold that up for the community building. That was kind of the original idea.
We created that as a second stage anyways.
Yeah.
So
I just want to be like
separate.
Yeah, like we've been at that study forever, but it's because we had to figure out what's going on underneath before we could finish what's going on top, and then we had some admin issues before. But yeah, we're anxious just to move forward with that and without the board.
Oh, and government moves at the speed of molasses.
Yeah,
we can circle up on that.
What was that?
We can circle.
I was just asking if we had the exact time on the bid. I know they're close to getting it ready.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because when we were at the community building, like, well, let's tie all this stuff together. Like maybe we don't. Maybe we keep these two separate things since the community center is going to be delayed a little bit.
And it was set up that way. It was set up in stages. The only part that was looked at as part of the McGowan was just redoing the parking lot paving because it's in such bad shape. So that's just, saving some money because it's going to be the same type of contract.
So would we be going to college and stopping at college now? Is that the idea?
So you just wouldn't get on their property, you just wouldn't get onto the community center property and stop.
So we'd be stopping at college.
Right there. And then
Yeah, I mean, college already has that brick.
I just want to make sure we're not jumping college and moving on. We're stopping McCown at college and letting community center be something else later. Okay.
There's been a
That was purely for the.
Oh, and PS for doing a city hall and all of that too.
I know, we want to tie it all together.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's gonna probably take 8 or 9 years. It doesn't go quickly.
Well, we've finally kind of figured it out on EDC. I'm in third term here, and we've been talking and talking. We finally hired some professionals because we're volunteers. We have jobs, families. But there's been a lot of stuff done in the last year and a half, 2 years. Things are moving forward. We're there. I mean, it's.
We got all new wayfinding signs that are starting.
They'll be on your next.
So we've got final
approval.
Yeah, so we're done. So beautiful monument signs are coming to downtown area, all the wayfinding. It took forever, but we finally got it done. This is a no-brainer. We're going to save this community center. We're going to make it beautiful, and I think the community needs to be a part of that because I'm glad to see people are passionate about it.
We've got to bring people back downtown.
Yeah, we're going to get them back downtown again. So yeah, stay tuned. That'll be fun.
Okay, so are we reopening the community center?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, just adding verbiage, Joel, they're adding verbiage to the current paperwork. Hopefully that'll be done by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then we can start accepting reservations again.
Okay, so when are we cleaning?
And then Lions Club can come back.
Okay, when are we cleaning?
Set them up at the door when they.
If that's gonna be a third party, I don't know. I mean, Brett, when are we cleaning it? Like, we're gonna interview third party, the people that clean here, they're gonna clean that, what's that look like?
I think we need to first look at what it's going to take to clean up the visual mold drop ceiling, the stuff in the kitchen, that's the main areas, because the two support walls in there, that's where the water leaks, and that's where the problem
So
is.
Public Works continues as the day-to-day until we get.
Not that, I don't
No,
want to
not
have
that
to.
stuff, not that stuff.
No, well, I think we'll look at somebody to do deep cleaning, to really clean the bathrooms, depending on what the usage path is. They can take out the trash and do all those things, but
I'm talking about deep clean.
we have a contract with, a young lady that does the city hall here. She might be interested in doing that as well.
When are we gonna find that out?
There's no excuse for having dirty towels.
When are we gonna find out about the deep clean?
Well, concern is you deep clean.
He's
then you drop
contacting the current
So-
people that we have, that we pay, that we contract with, to see if they can do it, and if so, what's that look like? I can't state a date until we know who's gonna do it and for how much.
When are we gonna address that? At the city council meeting or at the MEDC meeting?
Well, Brent, I think you could just go forward and do it without anybody.
Administration's doing it.
No, just do it.
So did you hear that? He can just go ahead and do it, we don't need anybody to vote on it.
And we understand that cleaning it is going to bring all the other problems, the ceiling, the mold, right now, if we're just trying to clean, like, people can't get sick from it, a few tiles is not gonna hurt until we get in there and get dirty and start doing the rebuilding it.
No, I'll bring it back to the EDC. I'll look at what it's gonna take to fix the areas that are actually just hanging down.
Okay.
What it'll cost to buy enough tiles to replace the ones that are really bad. No problem. The kitchen, once it's scrubbed and wiped all down, that'll disappear there until, it rains again. It gets wet again, that's an area where the water comes in quite often.
Okay, so reopening and we're gonna deep clean. We got two things, okay.
Replace tile.
We stop because it's.
Is anybody else? Hey. Hello, one meeting, please. Both of y'all are talking. Does anybody else have anything else to say? We'll move on to council inquiry. Council have anything? Boards have anything? I do have one comment, Mike. The Texas flag at Homecoming Park is upside down and has been since before Christmas. If we could get that flipped back, that would be huge. And outside of that, if there's nothing, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Fox to adjourn. Second by Mr. Simpson. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. It's 7:12, and we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much for showing up.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's.
Good to see you.
Please touch the.
We fixed that
Good job.
I'm going to give you this information.
Thanks.